All right. Last topic of today's WRAL Triangle and Two. U.S. Open starts this Thursday, Father's Day weekend. We're going to be at the Los Angeles Country Club for this weekend's event. But the reason why we're talking about this, Lewis, this is the first major since the merger between the PGA Tour and LIV. And to me, the analogy I will make to you is this merger is like how Jerry Seinfeld and his neighbor Newman decided to form an alliance, two polar opposite forces. So let me paint the picture for you for what makes it ideal this weekend, Lewis.
Okay.
You go into the final day, and let's get Rory McIlroy in
Sure.
contention at the end to win a major. A guy who stuck with the PGA, did not defect over to LIV. And let's pair him against, I don't know, a Brooks Koepka, Phil Mickelson, someone who
Oh,
did
yeah.
defect over. That is the storyline I am hoping for this weekend. Floor is yours. What say you about this weekend now that we're getting into another major?
Well, no, it's so funny because, like, I mean, I feel like no one's talking about the fact that the US Open is going to happen. Like, it's all about LIV
It's
and the
also
PGA
Monday.
merger and
It's
everything.
also
Oh, yeah.
Monday.
I mean, sure. But, like, yeah, I mean, I think that's going to be the storyline. This is LA's first time hosting a major, if not a US Open, in 75 years. This is the first time the US Open has been at this course in particular. It's the third time since 2015 the US Open has been at a brand new course, or a course that hasn't hosted one before. Um, it's the most significant event that this course has hosted since the Walker Cup in 2017. So I I think that there's a lot of fun storylines here with how this could go, but the question on everyone's mind is going to be everything PGA and LIV related. I was reading the AP article before this, and it was, I think there was one sentence in there that said there were so many people who had requested credentials, and a bunch of them have been denied because they don't cover golf. They're there for other reasons. Um,
Mm.
and that to me is what's going to be interesting to see, because this year with the majors, we saw everyone get along, right? We saw Brooks Koepka was there in contention at the Masters. Everyone was pretty cordial, was pretty cool with each other. There was not any kind of like beef that was had between different golfers. And then in the PGA Tour, or the PGA Open, he goes and win the PGA Championship, excuse me. Brooks Koepka wins it all. Once again, not really any kind of bad blood or anything like that. Everyone's just living. But now this is different, because all of a sudden, if you were someone who batted for the PGA and did not go to LIV, like, you're like, what was the point? What was I doing? And if some of these golfers who made a lot of money by going over to play for LIV and now are just going to have the opportunity to do everything that you can do, you're just like, what's the deal here? So I think there may be some like contention between golfers, but I think in almost a lot of ways you might see just golfers getting upset at the PGA as a whole.
Hmm.
Um, it is dramatic, which maybe that's going to be good for the PGA just in terms of the people watching and the people talking about it. But it's it's a tough look, man. It's a tough look. That's how I would phrase it.
And when I'm saying Rory versus Brooks, really what I'm really saying, Lewis, is we get it's someone who stuck with the PGA Tour, someone who defected over to LIV, going head to head Sunday. If that's a storyline going in, all of those media members that requested credentials, that's going to be the storyline that gets drawn up. I'm
Yeah.
not necessarily saying, oh, it'll be Brooks or it'll be Rory, but I kind of want to see that drama unfold. And then, particularly as well, because I've told you this, I watched the Full Swing documentary series on Netflix. I know they're recording all of this. So,
Yeah.
whenever the new season comes out to where they have honest, candid reactions and not prepared statements of, okay, let me play PC, let me make sure I'm not going to potentially lose money by saying the wrong thing or reacting in the wrong way in the moment. This is more so what I want to see, that honest, candid reaction that really you can't get anywhere else. And
Yeah.
again, this being the first major since the announcement of that merger, like, I know this is a big deal, Lewis, from the standpoint of when this happened at our station at WRAL, we're sending a news reporter now down to Pinehurst in Moore County, North Carolina, to ask people and to talk to them, hey, what are your reactions to this, to where it becomes a news story and not just a sports story.
Exactly. By the way, the U.S. Open will be on NBC on WRAL. Plugging that in, just so everyone knows. Yeah, no, it is definitely something that has transcended sports, just in terms of what this is going on, the political ramifications, the cultural ramifications. Like there are a lot of big question marks, things that still have to be answered. Also, like from a golfing perspective, right? If Brooks Koepka comes out here and wins another major this year, his second, and it would be the third that he's been in contention with on Sunday. Like you're looking at one of the best golfers in the world, if not the best golfer in the world, being a guy who is with LIV, and so that's where things are really starting to get tricky and interesting. And I'm super curious to see how it all unfolds. Is all of this good for golf? Is all of this good for PGA? There are people who are a lot smarter than me, who know a lot more about golf, who probably should weigh in on that. But I mean, it's just, I don't know, man. It all kind of feels a little gross. But it will be dramatic. It will be dramatic. And hey, listen, LA's a city all about storylines and drama and movies and stuff like that. So hey, maybe this is all going to be a match made in heaven.
In the flip side of that, though, too, Lewis, is if you're a golfer who might not be quite cut to compete in the PGA Tour and you're offered all of this money on a case-by-case basis, like, it's hard for me to say, no, don't do this for your career, to support your lifestyle, your family, that kind of thing, too. It's tough. It's really, really tough. But now that there's this merger now, too, we'll see how all this shakes out. I hope we can carry the momentum coming off the Canadian Open this past weekend.
That was electric.
Nick Taylor making a 72-foot eagle putt, the longest of his career. First Canadian in 69 years to win the National Open. Like, at the end of the day, is this going to be for the betterment of golf fans in the sport of golf, with the drama? And again, the political ramifications, again, you kind of hit the nail on the head, Lewis, where people know about the ties, the Saudi government and everything, and the ties with LIV, and could explain it a heck of a lot better than either of us could. But we're setting up for this weekend to where the narratives are set, and we'll see from the golfing standpoint who's in contention come Sunday. And then, that's something that you can share. It's something where I won't get to see my dad this weekend, Lewis, but you can best believe we'll be texting on Sunday throughout the tournament to see, hey, who's winning this tournament at the very end? How's this all going to shake out?
There you go. My big question is, will the golf this weekend be about golf? That's
well
where
said.
I'm at.
Well said.
Let's see if that's what ends up happening. But yeah, hey, there you go.